Srimad Bhagavatam 139 Turye dharma kala sarge nar narayana vrishi bhutvatmopashame upetam akaro dushcharam tapaha. Turye, so the third and fourth is going on now. Turye dharma kala sarge. Dharma kala. So kala refers to part. So a wife is considered to be a part. So dharma kala, the wife of dharma. Sarge, were born of Nar Narayana Rishi. Nar Narayan Rishi were born. And Bhutva Atmopashamo Petam. They became Atmopashamo. Atma Upashamam. Upashama means pacification, control, conquest. So they practice self-control. Etam, upetam. For achievement in this, for attaining self-control, for self-mastery, what they did? Akaro dushcharam tapaha. They performed dushcharam tapaha, extremely difficult austerities. Dushcharam, that which is not at all easy to do. So the Narnarayan Rishis stories will be talked about in the Bhagavatam. They are great instructors who even instruct Narad Muni, who instruct the Kumaras. And at one time when Indra tries to dissuade them from their distract them from their austerity by sending apsaras, he sends his best apsaras, and not only do they remain unaffected, but from their own bodies, from their own thighs, they emanate another even more beautiful apsara, who, in front of whom all the apsaras from heavens pale in insignificance. And Narayana Rishi tell the apsaras who have come from Indra, they say that, Indra is just a child trying to agitate us. Tell him that we are not agitated, but this apsara is a gift from us to him. And that apsara later becomes the favorite of Indra. She is Urvashi. So they demonstrate that they can manifest the most captivating apsaras at will, and they do not seek any pleasure through this. They are absorbed in the higher fulfillment coming from spiritual absorption. And tapa was the first syllabus that is spoken by the Supreme to Brahma. It is by tapa that we learn and we move onwards in our life. So tapa, how to practice tapa, is demonstrated in an exemplary way by the Lord himself when he descends as the Narnarayan avatar. So Narnarayan in the Mahabharata are said to be Krishna and Arjuna. So it's interesting that both of them are together, and this is the only incarnation where the two are considered to be almost like one. They are of course two distinct persons, and at different times two of them talk, so Nara and Narayan, but they are two always together, and that's why both of them together are considered an incarnation, one incarnation. 10th text. Panchamah kapilo nama siddheshah kala viplutam provacha suraye sankhyam tattvagrama vinirnayan. Panchamaha, the fifth was Kapilo Nama. His name was Kapila. So he will be talked about in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kapilo Nama Siddheshah Kala Viplutam. Siddheshah. Siddha Isha. Siddha is those who have achieved mystic perfection. Siddhi is called a mystic perfection. Siddha is those who have achieved mystic perfections. And Siddhesha, it's like we have yogi and we have yogesha. So Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is referred to as Yogeshwara. So he's not just a yogi, but he's a lord of yogis. He's the best of topmost. He's the king of yogis. Similarly, Siddhesha is not just Siddha, he's Siddhesha, who is this Kapila. Kapila performed austerities and he gained mystic perfections. Kala Viplutam Procha Suraye Sankhyam Provacha Suraye. Provach means he spoke systematically. Asuraye. So there was a Brahmana named Asuri, Sankyam. He spoke knowledge of Sankhya to him. Tattvagrama vinirnayan. Tattvagram. So we have Tattvagyan and we have Tattvagram here. Tattvagyan is the standard word we hear. It is philosophical, it is knowledge about the truth. Tattvagram means the sum total of material existence. The word gram in English is like we have in kilogram, that is a unit for measuring mass. But in Sanskrit, gram refers to the sum total of things. So about material existence, vinirnayam. Vinirnayam means a conclusive exposition. So it said over here that the analytical knowledge of Sankhya was lost. And he gave this knowledge to the Brahmana named Asuri. So it's interesting. The word Asura normally we use to refer to demons. But here there's a Brahmana. Of course, Brahmanas are usually not considered demoniac. They're considered the opposite. They're considered divine nature. And the Brahmana has the name Asuri. So the Bhagavatam, of course, does not describe this particular incident further. But the Bhagavatam describes how he gave instructions elaborately to his own mother, Devahuti. And in fact, his instructions to Devahuti are one of the longest, one of the biggest philosophical expositions in the Bhagavatam after the Uddhav Gita, which comes in the 11th canto. So it is said that knowledge was lost and knowledge was revived. So this is a theme which comes repeatedly, that whenever the avatars give some knowledge, they don't say that we are giving something new. They usually say that this was given ancient times. Even Krishna, when he gives the knowledge to Uddhava, and he's quoting how he gave this knowledge to, say, the Chatush Kumaras before that, or as the Hamsa avatar, he gave the knowledge to Chatush Kumaras or whoever else. He says actually this knowledge was given even before that also to Brahma or to some other person at the start of the creation or long ago. But the knowledge was lost and it has been revived again. Krishna also tells in the Bhagavad Gita that Sakale neham hata yogo nashtah parantapa. That the knowledge was lost because of time, and now this knowledge is being revived. So here, Tattvagram Vinirnayam. So Kapila, each avatar comes with a particular purpose. So just as the previous avatar that we talked about was of Narnara, they demonstrated austerity. They did not necessarily impart some system of knowledge, although they did give philosophical instructions at different times. But the distinctive contribution that each avatar makes is highlighted in this particular section. So the most distinctive contribution of Kapila Dev was to recover and remanifest and make available once again the lost knowledge of Sankhya. And yes, he gave it to Devahuti, but it is never described that Devahuti herself became an exalted spiritual master who taught many others. His giving the knowledge to Devahuti demonstrates how this knowledge can be understood even by women who are often not considered very philosophical, but even she was so exalted that she was able to understand this knowledge. And the knowledge was further disseminated by teaching to various people. And one of the prominent persons to whom Kapila gave the knowledge is Asuri, Brahmana. So now, text 11. Shashtham atrer apatyatvam prutah prapto anasuyaya anvikshikim alarkaya prahaladadibhya uchivan. So, Shashtham atrer apatyatvam. So, Atri Rishi, apatyatvam. So now, Deha apatya kalatradishu. So the word apatya is used to refer to relatives, usually children, sons. So Shashtham Atre apatyatvam. Sixth incarnation was Atri, to whom sonship was bestowed, or the Lord became his son Vritaha prapto anasuyaya. He prayed for such incarnation. Prapto anasuyaya. Through his wife Anasuya, Atri Rishi obtained the Lord as his son, and this is referring to Dattatreya. And Anvikshikim alarkaya. Anvikshikim. Anvikshikim means on the subject. He taught the subject of transcendence alarkaya. And to alarka, Prahaladadibhya uchivan. Prahalad adibhya. So Prahalad and Adi. So Prabhupada writes Yadu, Hai Hai, and others. So now, at one time, Atri Rishi prayed very fervently to all the three devatas, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and they all manifested together in one form, Dattatreya, and he gave spiritual knowledge. So, in the 11th canto, an Avadhut Brahmana gives instructions to Yadu. Often that Avadhut Brahmana is said to be Dattatreya. And similarly in the 7th canto also, there is Avadhut Brahmana who gives instructions to Prahalad. That is also thought by some to be Dattatreya. So the idea is Dattatreya enlightened people who were already very special, and thus he elevated them. The system of knowledge that he disseminated. So one of the prominent purposes that the Lord descends is to share spiritual knowledge. 12th text. Tataha saptam akutyam rucher yagyo abhyajayata sayamadyai suraganair apat swayam bhuvantaram. Tataha saptama akutyam. So the 7th was born in the womb of Akuti. Akuti was the wife of the Prajapati Ruchi. Rucher Yagyo. Yagyo was the person who was born. Abhyajayata. Abhyajayata means he advented or he appeared. So Yamadhyahi Suraganair. So Yamadhyahi, along with Yama and other Suraganair, host of devatas, apat swayam bhuantaram. So swayam bhuantaram. So the period when a Manu rules is called as Manvantar. That is a combination of two words, Manu and Antar. Manvantar, the period of that Manu is called. So swayam bhuam. So if a particular Manu is there during that time, then his reign is called as Swayam Bhuantaram. So during the reign of Swayambhu Manu, Yajna was the avatar who manifested through Akuti and Ruchi, and he did administrative work. So Yajna also has given instructions, but primarily he contributed by maintaining the cosmic administration along with the devatas. So in the start of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it described that when Swayambhu Manu retires, at that time, when Swayambhu Manu is about to retire, he goes to the forest and performs austerities, and at that time some Rakshas come to eat him, to devour him. And at that time, as he is invoking the Supreme Lord through his prayers and through his austerities, Yajna Avatar appears and Yajna Avatar delivers him from the demons who are about to devour him, and also delivers him from material existence. So this is Yajna. Now he was born of Akuti and Ruchi. Ashtame Merudevyam tu Nabher Jata Urukramah Darshan Vartmadhiranam Sarvashrama Namaskritam. Ashtame Merudevyam tu. The 8th avatar that manifested was through Meru Devi. And who was this? Nabher Jata Urukramaha. He was born from Nabhi through the womb of Meru Devi. Urukramaha. Urukramaha is the generic name for the Lord. One whose steps are wonderful, one whose activities are wonderful. Specifically, it can refer to Vamanudev, who appears in this world and who with his steps covers a large part, covers the three worlds. But apart from that, whatever the activities the Lord does, they are extraordinary. So even the Lord who appears, any incarnation of the Lord, any manifestation of the Lord can be referred to as Urukrama. So Jata Urukramaha, so he is referred to as Urukrama. Darshayan Vartmadhiranam. Darshayan, he demonstrated Vartmadhiranam. So he demonstrated the path of the sober people. Sarvashrama Namaskritam. Sarvashrama Namaskritam. That which is offered respect by all the ashramas. So now, usually among the ashramas, the sannyasis are considered to be the topmost. And among the Varanas, the Brahmanas are considered spiritually to be topmost, but the Kshatriyas are considered materially to be the topmost. Materially means the Kshatriyas have opulence, Kshatriyas have power, Kshatriyas have followers. The Brahmanas have the power of learning, and quite often the Kshatriyas submit to the Brahmanas when there is a conflict. But essentially, from the administrative perspective, the Brahmanas don't interfere unless the Kshatriyas are going terribly wrong. Anyway, the point here is, here it is said that which is offered, respected by all the ashramas. So the sannyasis, sannyasa ashram is respected by all the ashramas. And Maharaj Rishabha, about who is being talked about over here, his actions and his teachings will be described in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is stated here that this Maharaj Rishabha, what did he do? He demonstrated the path of perfection. He demonstrated actually extraordinary renunciation. In the sannyasa ashram, he demonstrated what is called as Jara Yoga. So it is actually very difficult to follow, but it also demonstrates how utterly indifferent and transcendent to the world one can become by being fixed in spiritual truth. So all these different avatars are manifesting different aspects of the path to transcendence. So whereas Narayan Rishi, they also demonstrated through their austere living the path of perfection, but they lived as renouncers throughout their lives. Whereas Maharaj Rishabdev, he lived as a king. He had children and he entrusted his children with the royal responsibilities, trained them, instructed and entrusted them, and then he renounced the world. And as he demonstrated not just the renounced order of life, but he now demonstrated the various ashrams, including Grahastha ashram and Sannyasa ashram, through his own example. Text 14. Rishibhir yachito bheje navamam parthivam vapuh dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras tenayam sa ushattamaha. Rishibhir yachito bheje. So Rishibhir yachito, when the rishis beseeched him, bheje, he accepted at that time. The word bhejire had come right at the beginning of this chapter also. That Paurusham Rupam, the Lord accepted, and it come in the 3rd chapter also, previous chapter, 2nd chapter also. So Rishibhir yachito bheje, he accepted on the plea of the sages. Navamam parthivam vapuh, parthivam. So he was known as Maharaj Pruthu. So here is referred to, Pruthu is in the inflected form. It is modified according to the grammatical form which is used. So parthivam vapuh, he manifested as the ruler of Prithvi. Dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras. Dugdhe mam. So he milked the earth. Oshadhir. Oshadhi, various products from the earth. Oshadhir, in vernaculars, Aushadhi refers usually to medicines, but Oshadhi in Sanskrit has a generic meaning also, where it refers to plants, herbs, fruits, flowers, grains, the products of the earth. Vipras, O Brahmana. So here, this is being spoken by Sutta Goswami to the Naimisharanya sages. Tenayam sa ushattamaha. Tenayam by him, because he was able to get so many products from the earth blossomed under him. Yeah, sa ushattamaha, the earth looked attractive. So prior to Maharaj Prithu, there was the atrocious King Vena, who had exploited the earth terribly, and because of his exploitation of the earth had stopped giving products, and people had started starving. So that effect continued even after Prithu became the king, and this pastime we described in the 4th canto, that when Prithu was the king and his citizens were starving because of the drought that had afflicted the kingdom, at that time his citizens, they came to him saying that we are being burned like an ant being burned on a log of wood with fire from both sides, with nowhere to go. Like that we are being scorched by a digestive fire. Please help us. So Maharaj Prithu requested the earth, and the earth, thinking that it is of course a pastime, but the earth initially thought that like father like son. So Prithu might also be an atrocious king like Vena, and so she refused to give any produce, and she ran away assuming the form of a cow. And Prithu ran after her, and he was when he was about to afflict her with arrow in anger. At that time, she sought forgiveness, and then Maharaj Prithu arranged for different people to come and get their needs milked from this cow. So the point is that when the Lord appears, it is not just for spiritual well-being. The spiritual well-being also requires material provision. Even when we have to practice sadhana, we need some material provision so that we can practice sadhana. And that material provision is provided by the Lord, and that material provision is what Maharaj Prithu arranged. Of course, we see he did not stop with material provision alone. He also performed elaborate yajnas for satisfying the Lord. He engaged his population and the resources of the state in the process of worshipping the Lord and practicing bhakti. He also he pleased the Lord, and he instructed his citizens in practicing spiritual life. And he set an example by even receiving instructions from the Kumaras, although he himself was very exalted. And then Maharaj Prithu as a king offered all-round welfare to his citizens. Text 15. Rupam sajagruhe matsyam chakshushodadhi samplave navyaropya mayam apad vaivasvatam manum. So Rupam sajagruhe matsyam. So he jagruhe accepted, the Supreme Lord accepted the form of a matsyam. Matsyam is from matsya. Matsya is fish. So the inflected form becomes matsyam. So he accepted the form of a fish. Chakshushodadhi samplave. Chakshushodadhi towards the end of the period of Chakshusha Manu. Odadhi samplave. When there was an inundation of water everywhere. Navya aropya mayam. So when practically the whole earth was drowned under the inundation of water. Navyaropya. So he helped. There he, with his snout, this fish enabled a ship to, now a boat or a ship. It was a giant boat. So this boat was big. The boat, various living beings during, along with Swayambhu Manu, along with Vaivasvat Manu, during the during this pralaya, during this cosmic flood that happened, they, along with Vaivasvat Manu, they came in the boat and they were saved while the stormy waters of inundation went around causing plunder all around them. So thus, here we see that the Supreme offered his protection even from material destruction. So paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam. So here there's, if you see in this particular incarnation, there might not be any direct dushkruti. So Matsya did not exactly fight against any particular enemy to kill that enemy. Matsya actually helped to overcome material calamities and offered to and enabled his devotee to steer the devotee to safety even amidst that calamity. So while there is a general pattern, but that the Lord protects the saintly, destroys the demoniac, and reestablishes dharma, each manifestation is also an individual, and each situation is also individual and different. And in such varying situations, the different manifestations of the Lord may act in different ways for the purpose of elevating people. And if people don't even exist, if people don't survive, how can they be elevated? So even offering protection from the dangers such as natural calamities, that also is done by the Lord when he descends. So 16th, Sura Suranam Dadhim Matnatam Mandarachalam Dadre Kamatharupena Prushta Ekadashe Vibhum. So Sura Suranam Udadhim. So among the devotees and the demons, among devatas and the demons actually, there was a competition, and to resolve that competition, there was this pastime will be described in the 8th canto. There was a conflict. So to resolve the conflict, a peace measure was made that both of us can churn the milk ocean, thereby get milk. So get nectar actually, not just milk, nectar. Udadhim. So they were churning the ocean. Matnatam mandarachalam. While they were churning using Mandar mountain. Achalam. Actually, a mountain cannot even be moved. It's so big. What to speak of being moved continuously as a churning rod. It's a very difficult thing to do. And the mountain was so heavy that it could not be sustained. And despite the best efforts of the best combined efforts of the devatas and the asuras, still the mountain was sinking into the ocean instead of being held up so that it could be used as a churning rod. So Dadre Kamatharu Pena. Dadre, so at that time, it was sustained by Kamatharu Pena. Kamatha refers to tortoise. So the Lord appeared in the form of Kurma Dev, and Prushtha Ekadashe Vibhum. Prushtha refers to his shell. So it was sustained on his shell, Ekadashe Vibhu. That Vibhu manifested in his Ekadasham, in his 11th manifestation thus. Here, when the Devatas and the Asuras together were trying to do a dharmic endeavor, we'll see what was the dharmic endeavor in this. Actually, they wanted nectar, and we may say that the nectar, that seeking the nectar is not exactly a transcendental endeavor. It is a material endeavor by which they want to prolong mortality. But they were doing it under the instruction of Vishnu, and we will see that while they were doing this, various manifestations of the Lord appeared. Mohini Murti appeared, and Mohini Murti even deluded Shiva. And through it all, the supremacy of the Lord was established. The dependence of both the Devata, of the Asuras as well as the Devatas, their subordination to the Supreme Lord Vishnu was demonstrated. And thus, this pastime, of course, at an additional level, it also protected the Devatas, because otherwise the Devatas were being overcome by the Asuras. And through the churning of the ocean, a truce was brought, and eventually the Devatas got the nectar, and they were able to defeat the Asuras also. So the point is that there is a lot of that in this particular pastime. Of course, the Lord manifested in several ways. He manifested as Kurma below. Then he also manifested in Ananta as a form above, and he held the churning rod from above also, because it was too heavy and they couldn't sustain it. And then he also manifested later as Mohini Murti. And even eventually, when the battle broke out, when the Asuras felt they had been cheated, so at that time the Lord manifested Vishnu also to fight and help the demons, help the Devatas overpower the demons. But in the churning of the milk ocean, the most celebrated, the most well-known manifestation was that of Kurmadev, that he manifested below the churning rod, the mountain, and sustained it on his body. So we can just conceive, imagine how enormous Kurmadev must have been, that on his back the mountain was sustained. In this way, the Lord manifests in many extraordinary, wonderful forms for the purpose of Kshemaya, for the purpose of delivering, protecting and delivering people. We'll continue the discussion of other avatars in our future talks. Thank you.